1, 2, 3, 4.
Screen time, screen time, screen time, screen time.
It's my screen time too.
Screen time, screen time.
Hello, and welcome to It's My Screen Time Too, the podcast where we review the programming the other critics ignore, stuff made for kids. Find out what to watch for family movie night, what to avoid altogether, and what you'll want to watch alone voluntarily. I'm Katie.
And I'm Deborah.
And I have two kids, ages 9 and 6.
And I have 3 kids who are 15, 12, and 12.
Welcome to a Screen Time in the News episode for the week of February 26, 2025. The Oscars are happening next week, and while the usual lineup of serious fare we cannot watch with our kids is surely top of mind for most, we thought it would be fun to talk about the family movies that are in the Oscar hunt and what we think of them.
Katie, do you care about awards season? Are there, among all the awards shows, are there any that you always make it a point to watch?
I used to always make it a point to watch the Oscars, and it is very much a pre-kids, post-kids time in my life. Because now that I have children, the Oscars are on way too late. And I also don't have time to see the vast majority of the movies. That said, I still love the spectacle and the ceremony of it all. I love a good red carpet. I love a good opening monologue. I am always interested and always in the back of my mind, I think I would like to see more of these very serious and important, in scare quotes, movies. That said, at this time in my life, I never do. How about you?
I have very fond memories of watching the Oscars with my mom when I was younger, like maybe high school age. And so I've tried to watch it with my kids, but they're just like a little too young, not into it, haven't seen enough of the movies. But a couple years ago, we did happen to watch the one where Will Smith punched Chris Rock, and so that was an enjoyable one. But even when I've tried to watch it, I haven't seen enough of the movies. It gets really boring, really fast. So I do enjoy a good In Style or People magazine spread of all of the gowns. But I haven't made it a point to watch any awards shows in a long time. But I remember going to an Oscars party at your apartment in Madison in I don't know, maybe the 2006, 2007 era. That was really fun. You had quizzes, a lot of refreshments. You might have made risotto.
Wow. I had a lot of time on my hands, didn't I?
So I don't think I've been to an actual Oscar party since then.
I love a good Oscar party. I actually tried to host one a couple years ago. Really, the thing that I love most is themed food. So I love to come up with punny titles for the food. And it was the year that Everything Everywhere All at Once. Was that 3 years ago, 2 years ago? I don't know. Anyway, hot dog fingers seemed like an easy thing to do. I had all these themed foods for everything, and no other adult that came over had seen the movies either, because we all have kids now. So my funny titles were just lost on everyone. It was sad. But anyway.
Yeah, I think maybe this will be an empty nester type thing that you can get into watching all the movies and seeing the awards shows. So this year's Best Animated Feature nominees are Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot, and Flow, all of which we've reviewed on this podcast. The nominees also include Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and Memoir of a Snail. Have you seen those other two on your own time?
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I have not seen the Wallace and Gromit movie, which is a big deal for me because I love Wallace and Gromit. I love stop motion animation. I love Nick Park's style of stop motion animation more than any other. And again, it just speaks to lack of time. So we have a week until the Oscars. I'm going to try to make it a point for the family to sit down and watch this one because not only is it Wallace and Gromit, who I love, but it's also the return of the most nefarious Wallace and Gromit villain, Feathers McGraw, everyone's favorite penguin dressed up like a chicken. I really want to see it and I want to be rooting for it. So I'm going to try. Memoir of a Snail, however, gives me serious Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio vibes and it looks like homework.
Yeah.
So I probably will never see it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch those before the actual Oscars. But that doesn't stop me from having opinions about who I think will win.
Love it.
Should I go first or do you want to go first?
Please do.
Okay. I want the Wild Robot to win because I think that is the best out of the three that I've seen. But I think that Inside Out 2 will win because I think major studios get preference by the Academy members.
Isn't Universal another major studio? Because Universal did The Wild Robot, right?
I guess it just seems like a smaller, quieter film to me.
Well, it certainly was smaller in the box office sense, right? Because Inside Out 2 was maybe question mark the biggest box office take of the year? Full stop?
So,
Like not just an animation?
and that was a good movie, and I think that that will win. But if the Oscars were just me voting, I would choose Wild Robot.
Does it feel like a little bit of a Barbenheimer situation, though, maybe, where they nominated Barbie? That was clearly the biggest box office behemoth. Wow, that was a lot of B's in a row. They wanted it there for the publicity and to celebrate it. But then ultimately the winner was Oppenheimer, which was the more serious film. So maybe Inside Out 2, The Wild Robot could be kind of a Barbenheimer situation.
Yeah, possibly. What would you pick out of all of those?
Well, we just watched and reviewed Flow, and we both really liked it. And I love an underdog story, and this is clearly the underdoggiest of the five, I would say. I mean, when has there ever been a Latvian film even nominated? So I think that would be lovely. I think realistically, it's got to be Inside Out 2 or The Wild Robot. And I do think of the two, I would prefer The Wild Robot, despite the fact that Inside Out 2 made me happy to like put Pixar kind of back on the map, maybe do a little course correction for them. I hope it's Wild Robot. Fingers crossed.
Okay. So the family movie that's in the Best Picture and Best Supporting Actress race is Wicked. It's also been nominated for a bunch of other awards like visual effects, makeup, production design, costume design, editing, and sound. Do you think it has a chance in these bigger, higher stakes categories?
I would love it to as a lover of musicals and as
I
someone who
know.
mostly liked this movie. And maybe it just speaks to my general exhaustion that I rarely have a movie that I am so in the bag for and so passionate about that I feel like it must win. So the fact that I enjoyed Wicked and felt like it was mostly good to me means that I would be happy for it to win any of these big categories. But do I think it realistically will? No.
I don't think it will either, especially not with, I mean, it seems like The Brutalist was a real critic's favorite.
Right.
And like a 3-hour movie about kind of an obscure real person is like sure to beat out something that features Ariana Grande in a pink bubble dress.
But
Just because of who's voting, and like they always pick the serious, supposedly most gravitas heavy movie over something feminine.
the great man story almost always triumphs.
And yes, Catherine Bigelow won that one time, but it was for a movie about bombs.
Yep. And dudes and their inability to emotionally communicate.
Yeah.
But it does make me sad. I wish I felt like it had a shot in visual effects just because their emphasis on practical effects was really cool to me in Wicked, but I don't think it's even going to win there. That said, I can't wait to see Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's red carpet looks. I think that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah, that'll be fun. Totally. Have you seen, speaking of The Brutalist, have you seen any of the Oscar favorites for grown-ups?
Oscar favorites? No, but I feel like the only one for grown-ups that I've seen in the whole Best Picture list is Conclave, which maybe at one point would have had buzz as one that would win, but now has just like totally dropped off. That said, I really enjoyed it. Weirdly, it's rated PG.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And because it's just a bunch of guys in a closed off room talking about who should be Pope. So it's not like there's any sex or violence or cursing.
Yeah, I guess. But it's totally not for kids.
No, 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 no. Like kids would be
No.
bored stiff.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. How about you?
I watched Dune
Oh,
part
yeah, that's
2
right. I forgot that was even there. But yes, I did see Dune 2 as well.
because that was out so long ago. It's like, how
Right.
is that even a 2024 movie? And I can't believe it, but I haven't seen A Complete Unknown.
I'm shocked because you're a big Bob Dylan fan, right?
I just bought tickets to Outlaw Music Festival in Alpine Valley with Willie
Aw.
Nelson and Bob Dylan in September. So let's hope they both make it.
Well, it sounds like, speaking of both making it, A Complete Unknown has a good shot for, if not Best Picture, at least Best Actor for our boy Timmy, who, let's face it, this would really be an apology Oscar for them not rightfully rewarding his stunning performance in Wonka.
Yes, I would love to see him get an award. Ooh, maybe I will watch. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you could catch up on the clips after the fact. Do we even know who's hosting? Is it Jimmy Kimmel again?
I'm like super underprepared for this recording, I guess.
No, but we're prepared for the thing that matters, which is the kids
Yeah.
stuff. We're on top of
Right.
that. All right. I think that's all we have for genuine Oscar insights. But we can't wait to see who the winner's going to be. Listeners, if you have any picks, please let us know. Shall we catch up on what we're watching with our kids?
Yes. So we watched season 2 of The Mole, which was really fun.
Uh-huh.
I really want to try watching Traitors because I keep hearing about it. Have you watched that?
We were just talking about it. Like, Kevin and I sat down and we were going to start it, and he turned to me and he said, this might be a good pick for the kids because they were so into Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't picked it up, but it is on our radar as something we might like to try.
Yes. So my kids kind of want to watch. I don't know why we started with The Mole season 2, but we did. They kind of want to watch season 1, but I'm vying for Traitors to let's just try that first.
Yeah, try something new. I like that. We have been watching a whole lot of nothing. Listeners, last week we reviewed Flow for the podcast, and I'm not kidding you. This was an hour-and-a-half movie that took us 4 nights to watch. We have not had time. We have spent every weekend out of town for the past 3 weekends. We just have not had a lot of collective screen time. So I agree with you. Traitors is definitely on our radar. But I have nothing to report that we've been watching. Hopefully, we will watch Wallace and Gromit and have happy things to say to you about it. What about your grown-up screen time? Anything you've been enjoying there?
We got 2 episodes into The Diplomat, which I'm very much enjoying. And then we've watched the first episode of White Lotus.
Okay, yes.
Which
White
I think
Lotus
those
season
just
3.
come out once a week. So yeah, we'll watch that timed out. What's the like prescription drug thing like on a time delay?
Yeah, time release. Time release.
Time release. And then we can watch The Diplomat in between, I think.
I like that. You need to have something in between. That is exactly our problem right now because we are caught up to real time on Severance, which we are both really enjoying. But then the intervening week, we just look at one another with panic in our hearts because we don't know what to watch. So if anyone has any recommendations for like a good sci-fi puzzle box show to like slot in there in the middle, we're happy to hear it.
Good luck finding that. Well, thank you so much for listening to this Screen Time in the News episode. Let us know who you think will win the Oscars. Send us an email at myscreentime2@gmail.com to let us know. If you enjoyed our show today, please recommend the show to a friend that you think would enjoy it too, so that we can grow our number of listeners and our community of parents for sanity in screen time. If you don't want to miss our up-to-the-minute thoughts about screen time, you can head over to our website at myscreentime2.com. Tune in next time for more real talk about the movies and TV we watch with our kids because we have to and sometimes because we like to. Bye.
Bye.
Screen time, screen time, screen time.